Morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching us from. This is your regular host of Connect with Comfort show. My name remains Comfort Eyitayo. On this show, we aim to add value to business, enterprise, and personal growth. As we always do, and we feature topics and special guests that will help us to shed more insight on the topic at hand. I am glad you are able to join us today for today's special topic and edition. Now, today we are considering a topic that is very important in any economy, entrepreneurship. As we all know, entrepreneurship is like a cornerstone of any economy. So, our topic is entrepreneurship, its blessings, burdens, and benefits. We can just oppose the burdens as challenges. It goes for the same. We intend to look at the dynamic world of entrepreneurship today, a realm where innovation meets perseverance and dreams collide with reality. Entrepreneurship is not merely a career path, it is a way of life. It's about daring to dream and sometimes to dream big. It's about taking risks and carving out one's part in the business landscape. However, with its blessings, like any other thing in life, comes its burdens or challenges. And amidst these challenges also lies its immense benefits. Throughout history, entrepreneurs have been the driving force behind societal progress, revolutionizing industries and shaping economies. Yet, behind every success story of an entrepreneur lies a tale of resilience, determination, and countless hurdles to overcome. Today, we aim to shed more light on the blessings that fuel the entrepreneurial spirit, the burdens that test their resolve, and the benefits that made it all worthwhile. So please remain connected while we go on a short break and come back to examine this very interesting topic. Thank you.
Graduates or graduates, why gives your life a design to follow? Why do you do what you do? Why are you existing? Do you know what it takes to be great? It takes the answer to the question, why?
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Thank you very much. You are welcome back. We already have our guest in the house, our special guest to throw great insight into this very interesting topic. Our guest today is no other than Priscilla Asha Datse. Priscilla is a dynamic and versatile professional with a passion for excellence in everything she does. With a strong background in banking, coupled with an entrepreneurial spirit and flair for event creation, driven by a relentless desire to innovate and create, Priscilla has ventured into the realm of entrepreneurship, founding and managing multiple successful businesses from retail ventures to service-based enterprises. She also serves as a proficient training facilitator, leveraging her expertise and experience. She empowers individuals and organizations with valuable insights, practical skills, and strategic guidance to enhance performance and drive success. Please join me in making welcome our guest for today, Priscilla Asha Datsi. Priscilla, you are most welcome to Connect with Comfort Show. We are glad to have you and appreciative of your time and willingness to share your experience with us. Welcome.
Thank you, Ma. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. You are most welcome. Without
Thank
much
you.
ado, we go straight to our interview session by
Hmm.
asking, how do we define success in entrepreneurship? Like the brief bio that we had, we have been told how important entrepreneurship is to the economy of any nation. So, how do we now determine success in entrepreneurship and what benefit does it bring?
Thank you for the question. I think entrepreneurship can be rewarding in various ways. Um, for some people, it's the ability to be able to bring their ideas to life. It can be in the area of financial success. It can also be in the area of personal growth and development. Um, these are the common rewards for being an entrepreneur, and that's what I've realized so far in my journey.
Okay. Now, what inspired you to become an entrepreneur? Because we've heard that you had a banking background. You could have stayed in your comfort zone and be earning possibly dollars or a lot of cash from the banking sector. So, what inspired you?
So, like I mentioned, I think all my life I've always been an entrepreneur. From when I was a child, I had four brothers, and then they would always, I was always used to being sent, that being the last born. I was always used to being sent, and I hated it because there were times I wanted to learn, and then they are like, go and buy me something. And my mom didn't keep a lot of things in her kitchen because you know how boys are. Once you buy a lot of food, they tend to eat everything. And then when you want to use it, you can't find it. So at a very young age, I think I was barely 10. And then whenever they sent me, I could identify some of the common things that they liked. So things like Gary and sugar and Milo and things. Then I got a small chop box, which I kept under my mom's bed. And then every time they sent me, I'll just go into the room and then I'll just appear with the thing. And they're like, oh, that was quick. I said, yes, I had to run because I had to learn. And then they didn't know I was making money off them because when I went to buy it, I was always putting an extra.
Extra for yourself. That's smart, Alec.
Yes, I mean, to for all my trouble. So I would say that for me, it has been an inherent desire. It's always been that desire to want to satisfy someone or go the extra mile, or that desire to want to. I think it's a passion for my customers really. That's what drove me to being an entrepreneur, and that has been it since then. I haven't looked back.
Okay, passion, and also on the side, the benefit to make small gain,
Yes, yes,
and most important, to satisfy the need of others. That is a very good point that came out of that strongly.
mm,
Apart from the benefit of course, because you had to add a little for your sweat and for your smartness, I would say. Apart from that
yeah.
gain, what, how would you describe moments that you felt the blessings of entrepreneurship in your life? The blessings of entrepreneurship.
For the blessings, okay, so I would say that it gives you freedom to be able to pursue the things that you're passionate about. That's one of the big things. So you're on your own schedule. You get to do the things the way you like, unlike in a typical corporate world where you have to revert to a board or like a boss or a committee. This one you have that flexibility to be able to make your own decisions on your own terms. And also, I mean, one of the blessings, like I mentioned, is the financial success that comes with it. Because you know the business is for you, there's a certain passion and drive to want to see it succeed. And inherent in there is a financial success that comes with it because you don't want to be seen as a failure. So the more you push yourself to the limits, it can be very rewarding in that regard. And also, it gives you the ability to be able to make an impact. So for myself, I find a lot of people looking up to me in various ways. And then also I'm able to share my knowledge and my skills. Sometimes I offer training, and that can be also, it's very satisfying. I consider that as a blessing. And lastly, it gives you the opportunity to be able to network through the entrepreneurship. One of the blessings it has brought my way is the ability to meet certain people that ordinarily I wouldn't have met all my life. But they came in as customers and they stuck, and they've been a part of my journey so far. So those are some of the blessings I can identify readily.
Quite, quite true, and um, very, very interesting, because the key things there, you've been able to make an impact. You are a contributor to the economy, and that on its own is very satisfactory, because if you are, your economy where you are is talking of GDP, you can also boast of being a partaker in that. You are an employer, so you are taking
Mm,
people off the unemployment market. Apart from, like we said, apart from the blessings of making money, because if you are hardworking, you have the blessing of getting the reward to yourself, as
yeah,
opposed to when you are just working for someone and all you are going to get is peanuts for your effort. So that's
yeah,
one is there, but you are able to innovate and even do more when
Mm,
you are working for yourself. So all those ingredients are there that constitute blessings of
mm,
being an entrepreneur, and it's quite encouraging.
yeah.
Yes, we like we said, both as you have benefits, you have the other side of it, which we call burden, or you can call challenges. So, what are
Mm.
common challenges or burdens that entrepreneurs face in their journey?
Um, One of the things ready to mind is like
Priscilla, can you
financial and
speak up a bit so that
can, can you hear me?
I can hear
Sorry.
you, but speak up a bit
Okay.
louder? Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. My microphone is not too loud. Okay. So
Okay.
one of the challenges I can see readily is financial uncertainties. You know, when you're working for yourself, you have that burden where, like you said, you have to pay your own salary, and there are times when business doesn't go the way you expect it to, or maybe per your projections, it doesn't turn out the way you would have loved it to. And there are also changes in the business environment. Sometimes there are too many people in the space you are in. There's competition. There's fluctuation of depreciation of the local currency. There's a lot of financial uncertainty, and those are some of the real challenges. Because for you, when you wake up in the morning, what you're looking up to is to be able to put food on your table, and sometimes it can be quite daunting because you can be there and no order comes, and you're like, okay, so how would I pay my children's school fees? So those are real challenges. Also, the risk of failure for most entrepreneurs. I mean, I think this is one of one of
Yeah.
their highest risk of failure, because you're working for yourself, and things can go wrong at any time, and you don't want to have to be branded as a failure. Maybe you left your corporate job, and you're working for yourself. It's also is it can be quite challenging, because you will do everything you can to succeed. I mean, that risk of failing anything, I mean, the odds can just be against you. Also the need, I think it's the other challenge is it has to do with your workload balance, or the demands of the workload. I realize for most entrepreneurs, my husband is also an entrepreneur. He can work from morning till morning, and sometimes I'm like, okay, because you are working for yourself, we tend to overload ourselves with so much. Unlike if we're working for someone, you look at the time, it's 5 p.m., I'm closed. But because you don't want to be branded as a failure, you tend to take on so much than ordinarily you would have taken on. And it can be really challenging, especially for those of us with families. It can be quite challenging because then you have to be able to manage your home and manage your business at the same time, be there for your spouse. And then if you have elderly parents or external family, it can be quite daunting. So those are some of the challenges, and things like managing stress. Like I said, because it's your own job and you want to see it succeed, you can really stress yourself because you're pushing your limits. So those challenges can be quite daunting, but if you're resilient, you're able to overcome all of those challenges.
Thank you very much. In fact, with all the challenges you read out, which are correct anyway, you gave the antidote, resilience. Because
Mm,
the reason why some businesses fail or entrepreneurs fail, and like you said, rightly said, the rate of failure is high, is because
mm,
of that word resilient. How resilient are you? If you are not
yeah,
resilient enough, you are likely to throw in the towel early when the challenges becomes burdensome. And
yeah,
sometimes you just have to give it. a little bit more time to overcome the hurdles, but some people are not that resilient enough. So
Yeah.
the key word here is resilient. Definitely challenges must come. Like
Mm.
sometimes things do not go the way you have predicted, uh, downturn in economy or market that is definitely out of your control. And this other one that we can all identify with, the balancing of workload. You tend to
Mm.
work more when you are working
Mm.
for yourself. Yes, maybe
That's true.
because of the fear of not wanting to fail. Also,
Mm.
it could be the desire to make more money, to make sure that you, like they say, make hay while sun shines. So that kind
That's
of
true.
workload balance is very key, which many people have not gotten the art of. And if you don't have it, that could result to a big challenge because
Mm.
your well-being, both mental and physical, is very important for the continuity of your business. So you have to strike
That's
that balance. So all these are very good, and part of the challenges that you mentioned, which some of our online audience have the echo. Pastor Sheyi also said, because the box stops on your table, so you are overwhelmed. You are overwhelmed, and it's a big challenge because if you are working for someone, the headache is for the other person to take charge of. Look at the time, oh, it's closing time, let me just pack my bag and go. But it's not the
yeah.
same when you are the entrepreneur. So thank you very much for
Mommy, I
that
just
response. But
stupid. I mean, as you were talking about the workload right now, it brought
mm,
to mind. I think there was a time when I had to do something for a customer, an order, and I had other orders. I was so overwhelmed. I had to go home at 2 a.m. and then return back 4 a.m. And I had to come back 4 a.m. and come and complete it. And you believe it, when I was even done, some of the things, like in my balloon decor thing, some of the balloons had started to deflate.
deflating. Oh my God. Back to square one.
That day, I stood in the store and I started crying. I was crying. I felt so frustrated. And the question I kept asking myself, I was like, who sent me? I was like, who put a gun to my head? Why do I have to suffer so much? Why? Why do I have to go through this? I haven't slept for a whole 24 hours. I haven't slept. And everything is just crumpling down. But after I said who sent me, I don't know, something just said, you know what, pick yourself up. I haven't come this far
To
to,
fail.
I mean, to fail. And I
Yes.
always say that it hasn't brought you this far to leave you. So I just picked myself up. I just wiped my tears and I had to redo it all over again. That day, it
Oh
was
my God.
eventful. At the end of it all, when the customers receive these things, the joy, the
Oh,
excitement, satisfaction,
satisfaction.
it is inexplicable. It's
Yeah.
the You will not think about money because it makes you so fulfilled. You
Yes.
cannot Money cannot buy that fulfillment.
That's
And
true.
so it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Fantastic. That's actually a good experience to share. I can I can understand from the aspect you came that you said you shed tears because it can really get to you that wow,
Yeah.
I could have chosen any other path, but like you
Yeah.
said, the joy of fulfillment, the joy
Mm.
that you've been able to impact and even bring joy to other people's life because the customer that you have been able to satisfy would
Mm.
go happy, and
Yeah.
that happiness will rub off on you. That's a good testimony. In what ways does entrepreneurship contribute to economic growth and innovation? Because we've said this a lot of time, and in most books or study that you have about entrepreneurship, it's always pinned as the cornerstone, so to say, of any economy. So, in what way, in your own words, that you believe that entrepreneurship contributes as well as innovation to the growth of economies?
Entrepreneurship is pivotal to the growth of the economy in the sense that it reduces the unemployment rate. I mean, people like us are able to employ other people who also learn from us, and they are also able to employ other people. So in that regard, it's like a cycle. So it helps reduce the rate of unemployment, and also I think entrepreneurship provides grounds for training. I mean, there are certain things that you learn from an entrepreneur that typically, if you were in a school setting or in a structured formal education, you wouldn't learn. And there are things that there are certain skills that you would acquire that will not, if you were in the classroom, you will not know.
Never be taught.
Yes. So I mean, in that regard, it also helps them as in terms of education. I mean, it provides more how should I say, people are better enlightened because
Mm.
of like entrepreneurship. And outside of the employment and the training, also it contributes greatly to GDP because once you see somebody trying to do something for themselves, that's an avenue to also make money. And we in turn, it creates small pockets of businesses that are tax paying. So it also contributes to the overall economic development of the country. So that's what I think.
Fantastic. The what I would call the replicating factor of
Mm,
creating employment is very key, because you are not even looking at the employment you are creating, because others are learning from you, and from there they will also go and start their own thing. They will also in return employ other people. So it's replicating itself, and it's going in a long dimension. Like you also said, the training aspect. You are skilling people things that they will not even have been able to learn from the classroom. Like they say, school, you are there in the school of life, because
mm,
the school of life is different from that of the usual classroom. There are things
yeah,
you learn that you now practicalize and use for day-to-day things. So it's really very important. Besides, you are also an encourager. You are motivating and encouraging other people. You know,
mm,
when people have different options, then they are better for it. But if it's just
yeah,
one option, then there's not much you can do. People can look at an entrepreneur that, after all, this person is on his or her own and is making a living and is able
mm,
to stand. So instead of
mm,
waiting on the job market for forever for jobs that are not there, you start getting inspired to do something on your own. So
yeah,
it's like a mentor, indirect mentorship for
yeah,
other people. Inspire people to do better and to look at other ways of earning a living. So there are so many benefits for that we can adduce to entrepreneurship, if we have to look at it in terms of how it provides growth to the economy. So
yeah,
the innovation aspect also, in the doing, you get to learn new ways of
yeah,
doing things, and that's where the innovation comes. And most, because you are an entrepreneur, you want to really look at how to do things better, how to improve
yeah,
yourself, and not just
yeah,
wait until you are given a direction or instruction by a boss. It helps
yeah,
to build your thinking ability too as a person. Then
mm,
you are able to innovate, to think of new ways of doing things, and then that one also enlarges the cost that you have for your business. So all
mm.
those attributes is what makes the economy to grow, and the contribution we make to the nation's economy at large. Thank you very much for that response. You mentioned briefly in your response to the two questions past that we asked, that the workload is very, very important to achieve the balance between the blessings and the burdens of entrepreneurship in our life. So, what do you recommend on how to achieve that balance between the benefits of entrepreneurship and the burdens that comes with it on individual life, entrepreneur's life?
Hello, mommy, please come again. The line, the network went off. I
Okay,
didn't hear
I'm,
you.
I'm asking, it's related to what you answered before,
Hmm.
that we need to achieve a work balance
Hmm.
on our lives, both
Hmm.
family life or individual life. We need to achieve a work balance. So,
Hmm.
looking at the benefits, which is very tempting, of the entrepreneurship vis-a-vis the burdens that comes with entrepreneurship before you get the
Hmm.
benefit, how do you achieve the work balance on life?
I will try to answer that.
But
Well,
you understand the question.
yes, I do to to some extent. Okay, okay. So, like you said, because the business is essentially yours, you want to do everything to want to make it succeed. So, in that regard, we tend not to have a proper balance. Um, But I think for me, there are times when you also looking at the financial rewards. I mean, money. If you look at the money and you look at the financial rewards, see, you will work your whole life. You will work from
Till you
from
fall
first
down.
to the first March, and you will be working. So the key for me is to know when to say no. So you have to be deliberate and intentional. There are days when I you would tell me that you need something, and I'll tell you I am closed. It's not because I don't want the money. I want it. But you need yourself. You need to be able to take
To be
care of
alive.
yourself. That your business will be able to take care of you. You can't do one independent of the other and say that I'm going to work myself out. Do you know what happens? Once you overstretch yourself, the money you think you are going to get, you will end up spending that money in the
Spending.
hospital.
Yes.
And then you go back to square one. So I always try. There are days when I'm like, oh, it looks very enticing. This thing, I can make a lot of money. But there are also days I tell myself, I am not doing this just because of the financial rewards. I'm doing it because I love it. But it shouldn't be to the detriment of my own physical well being. No. So you should constantly, I know that for entrepreneurs it can be very difficult trying to strike a balance. But you should constantly be reminding yourself that I need to live to be able to see my business or my venture succeed. And that means that you have to take good care of yourself. That requires proper self-care constantly. And so it's something that entrepreneurs have to be doing constantly. Rotimi knows me. There are days you call me and say, "Oh, Priscilla, why aren't you working today?" I'm like, "No, I'm not working. I need some time off. I need to be with my family. I need to take a breather because it can be very overwhelming. It's enjoyable. You enjoy all the perks, but you need to learn to say no. It's very vital. It's key. Once you're able to do that, you won't have a problem balancing your workload because you know that you are able to adjust as and when. And it's very key that you do that.
Very, very true. It's a challenge to be able to draw the line, but definitely you have to draw the line
Mm.
somehow. And then,
Yeah.
like the input that we had from one of our online audience, Dr. Asen, making making contribution that we need to make other inputs more productive and value laden. Perhaps if we're lucky in the kind of service or product that we're doing, we have
Mm.
good hands that are reliable. So we need to find a way of delegating more. In
Yeah.
that way too, you can achieve the desired balance, because then you don't put everything on yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
That you have to do everything. Maybe in
Mm.
the process of looking at succession plan also
Mm.
will train you to see how you can delegate more. That
Mm.
way you'll be able to have enough time to rest and look at the side of the family and other things that you desire to do
That's
while the business is still ongoing. So you don't have to reject too many offers or tempting
yeah.
offers where you have additional hands to help you with it. Thank you. We will go on a short break right now and we'll be back for the next segment. Thank you. Please remain connected.
Being relevant in your field of occupation is proof that you are properly educated. When my parents and I were thinking about my university education, Bowen University Iwo was our first choice. Bowen University helps you to get the most of whatever course you're studying and also educates you on how to excel in a competitive labor market. From the day I arrived here, I knew when I would graduate, and my mind has been positively transformed since then, thanks to my able lecturers. My name is Salome. I am a medical student, a sanctuary keeper, and a violinist at Bowen University. To the medical world, remember my name.
Bowen University, for excellence and godliness.
You're welcome back. We have the next question for our guest. What role, we mentioned this before, but we want in specific, what role does resilience play in the life of an entrepreneur, and how do you cultivate such habits?
Um, I think resilience is okay. First of all, I think um, we all know to a large extent we know what resilience is be able to have that mental fortitude or mental fortress to be able to withstand challenges that come your way. And for me, resilience I mean plays in a key role in being an entrepreneur in the sense that there are times, like I mentioned, there are times when you feel like giving up, and there are times when the odds are against you. You look at your numbers and you're making losses, and there are days when you feel a lot of pressure. You have financial commitments, you have supplies that you owe, you have to pay overheads, and your cost is there, and the business is not just moving. There are days when you have to tell yourself, you need to have that mental fortitude to tell yourself that you will make it. And in telling yourself that you will make it, you need to be able to make tangible steps, take tangible action to be able to get yourself out of whatever situation you're in. So for an entrepreneur, I mean, mental fortitude or resilience is non-negotiable. You have to be able to have it and you have to constantly be able to remind yourself why you started. Is one of the key things you need to have in mind. Always have it in mind why you started and where it is that you want to see yourself. Once you have that in mind, no matter the storms that come your way, you look ahead. You try to learn from your mistakes. You try to be more adaptable. You try to have an open mind. You try to learn, relearn, and unlearn certain things that may have brought challenges your way or that have brought setbacks your way. But with resilience, you'll be able to achieve all these things. So, I mean, constantly having that mental fortitude to tell yourself to go on. So that's essentially what I think.
Okay. Well, like you said, mental fortitude is what propels us and enable us to be resilient to whatever challenges that we meet in line of our businesses and even in the course of life. Because even those that are not in business can meet some stumbling block, so to say, that could deter them. You know why some people uh, think it is all over for them in their life and they contemplate suicide and things like that. So that mental fortitude is very, very important. Why? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? What is the objective? Why did I set up to be an entrepreneur? So all those things are very important to keep you going. And like they always advise, even before you go into business, let it be the business that you have passion for.
Mm,
Definitely understanding that along the line you will come up with some challenges. It is that passion that will fuel you, that will
yeah.
continue to push you to be going because you want to achieve, you want to realize that passion to make
Mm,
it true. So it's part of what makes you to be resilient. So it's very important. The role it plays in entrepreneurs' life is very important because we have all come to accept that in entrepreneurship, definitely challenges are part and parcel of the journey. It is not, there's not something you can run away with. It's just like risk is part and parcel of the journey of an entrepreneur. Because otherwise, if you don't want risk, you could have just put the little capital you have in the bank and earn your interest, even though that can have its own element of risk, but let's even say it's safe. But when you now want to do extraordinary things or go beyond the ordinary, then you have to be ready to face some challenges. It can come as risk, it can come as, like you said, maybe your projected plans are not adding up, they are not coming up, making losses and things like that, which can make you to just give up. But that passion that you have fuels your resilience, fuels your need to continue. And that is why we can safely say resilience plays a lot of importance in
mm,
an entrepreneurship life. And the way to cultivate it is part of what you have said. We just have to understand the reason why we are here in the first instance. Why did you embark on this journey? The why should give you the how to pursue it further.
mm, yeah.
Because it's only when you don't have the why or
Yeah.
you don't know how you got there that it becomes difficult to make any improvement. So to cultivate resilience, you must first and foremost be passionate about the business you want to go into, because that is when all else fails. Your passion
Mm,
is what will keep you going. The interest that you have is what will keep you going. Like we have said, it's not only monetary gain that makes you to go into being an entrepreneur. These other factors that is beyond money will be those reasons why you continue to strive when even things seems not to be adding up. So thank you very much. The next question is, what advice would you give an aspiring entrepreneur who is considering embarking on the journey of entrepreneurship? Somebody that is still trying to decide.
Okay, so like you rightly said, you have to, first of all, you have to know your why. Define what your why is. Why am I doing this? Why do I like doing this? What is the reason or what's the motivation behind what I am doing? So know your why. And two, I think you have to be adaptable. One of the things that has really worked for me is the ability to be able to adapt to all manner of situations. Is very key for you to be an entrepreneur. You need it badly. You have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to know what is going on around you, and you have to be able to tell yourself that, oh, okay, I thought this was the way to do it, but I don't think that's the way the market is. Let me change the direction. That is being able to adapt. You have to be able to learn. You have to be a constant learner. You always have to seek to improve yourself. Constant learning. That's how you become better at your craft. That's how you become better at your venture. That's how you are able to make improvements and you are able to stay afloat. And also, I think that you have to be an open-minded person. You have to be open-minded. You don't have to be risk averse so much. You have to want to take risk. That's also one thing for an upcoming entrepreneur, because like I said, nothing ventured, nothing gained. So you might as well just try, and then you fail, then you know that I tried, I gave it my best. But if you don't try, you will never know what lies inherent. So you just have to be able to want to take risk and give it your best. So that's essentially what I think.
Thank you very much. You know your why, and when you know the why, definitely you also have to know the how. And
Yeah.
once you want to embark on this journey, you must also arm yourself with determination, determination to succeed. And I think in all this, there's a place for collaboration too, because
Yeah.
sometimes when you see that things are not going, you've tried everything that you know, things
Mm.
are not going the way you wanted, you may need to collaborate. There's nothing wrong in that. If you
Yeah.
collaborate and then
Yeah.
you're able to recharge yourself, then you can still come back online and rebuild. So that's another avenue. Instead of giving up altogether, collaboration is another way of
Mm.
forging ahead. So it's
Mm.
important that you have that determination to succeed to start with. If you want to go into entrepreneurship, you must understand it's not bed of roses. Yes, it
Mm.
has its many blessings and benefits, but
Mm.
also with that comes these challenges and the burdens. So you must be ready to take all those burdens and challenges along line and be ready and be dedicated, committed,
Mm.
resilient to take
Mm.
all this on to make sure that you just don't fail along the way. So, like I guess I've said, ways to doing that is to make sure that you upskill yourself. Don't rely on what you know 3, 4 years ago. Since the market is dynamic itself, so you need to really continue to reinvent yourself to innovate and do things better. And then know your market, know the competitors, know what they are doing. That way, that can also spur you on to better beginning. But in all, I will advise that is the way to go to become an entrepreneur. It's rewarding, though challenging, but rewarding.
Yeah.
So on that note, I want to thank so very much our special guest for today that has helped us to shed more insight into this topic. Priscilla, thank you very much for bringing the practical perspective and being very open and frank in your insight, because it's good to know that it's not all bed of roses, so
It's
nobody is
not.
deceived. But it's saying that we have also shared the light that yes, there's always the light at the end of the tunnel. So thank you
Mm.
very much. We appreciate
Thank,
you, appreciate
thank
your
you.
great insight, and we wish you well. You are already a
Thank you.
serial entrepreneur. We wish you well in your various ventures, and we
Thank
hope
you.
if you come calling again, you would oblige us and not consider us as Oliver Twist.
No.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I do the roundup, I would like to appreciate some of our online audience, particularly those who have been able to contribute to the discussion. Dr. Aseyin from Abuja has given us some insight while we were at it. Pastor Sheyi from London has also contributed greatly. And we, along the line, we had Niyi Olajide, I believe from Lagos, that joined us. We appreciate everyone that have joined, maybe those whose name have not featured. We appreciate you all. Thank you for continuing to join us on this program and also sharing experiences with us. We want you to continue to do that. And if there are areas that you want us to address specifically, please feel free to make contact with us. As we bring the program to a conclusion, please remember the tips that have been given by our guests. We know there is freedom and autonomy for an entrepreneur. That is part of the benefit, and we have opportunity to innovate and even the potential for high financial reward and personal growth. We also have as benefit creating value. Dr. Asen contributed to this, that we are able to create more value through uh, other people's input that are made more productive. Those ones are benefits. We also must keep our eyes on the burdens so that we will know how to manage the burdens. The uncertainty and the risk element is inherent in entrepreneurship. There are no guarantee of success, so entrepreneurs must be comfortable with uncertainty and willing to take calculated risk, not just any risk, calculated one, to make sure that you don't go down quickly. The work balance that we mentioned is very key. You have to stay healthy, you have to stay alive before your business will continue to thrive. So you need to take care of yourself, know when to say no or draw the line. Don't let the financial benefit interest overshadow you or overshadow the need to take care of yourself and the family. So we need to delegate to make sure or collaborate to make sure that we have time for ourselves to have that balance. Financial pressure can come. Starting and running a business requires quite a lot of financial investment. So we have to be sure of the inflow to sustain our business right from the beginning. And we make sure that we know the type of debt. Yes, debt itself is not a bad thing, but know the type of debt you want to go into, not the one that will crumple your business. We must not work in isolation. Isolation does not help our journey. There's need for us to collaborate and network. Then failure and setback, like we said, can be very daunting and can make some people give up. Please, that is where your resilience comes in. You have to build that mental fortitude to be resilient in business and to pull through and always believe that you surmount any problem that comes your way. So in a nutshell, we'll conclude by saying entrepreneurship embodies a dynamic journey filled with blessings, burdens, and boundless benefits. As we navigate the complexity of this terrain, let us not overlook the invaluable lessons that we have learned today, the resilience forged, and the opportunities seized. May we continue to embrace the challenges, celebrate the triumphs, and foster a community where innovation thrives. I hope you have enjoyed today's show. I'd like to especially thank all of you once again, our online audience, those that have continuously supported us, and our special guests for sparing time to connect with us today for this enlightening session. And we hope we'll do it once again. I hope you know that we have a YouTube channel. Please, at Comfort Eyitayo, join us and subscribe. And once you have subscribed, please turn on the notification button, like and share our videos. Stay updated with information and about upcoming events, solutions, and offers on my Instagram account at Comfort Eyitayo, as well as my Facebook at Comfort Eyitayo. Till I come your way again, let us harness the blessings, shoulder the burdens, and reap the rewards that come with entrepreneurial spirit. I wish you best of luck. Bye for now.